1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, coming to you today with a fiddle tune for guitar. We're going to work on the classic fiddle tune in the key of G, Temperance Reel. This song is also sometimes called Teetotaler's Reel, and it's one of those cool fiddle tunes that crosses a lot of genres. You might hear it in a strict bluegrass jam, you might hear it in more of an Irish jam session, an old-time jam. This is a really great tune to know in the key of G. The A part's in the key of G, and then the B part modulates to the relative minor, E minor, which is really cool. A lot of fiddle tunes do that. Blackberry Blossom's another fiddle tune that does that. And this is a great one that will work on some great licks in the key of G and a lot of string crossing. Your right hand's going to get a pretty good workout on this lesson as well. I've got a basic A part and a basic B part and then a variation for both parts that I'll break down in note for note detail. And then I'll show you a bunch of backup I would do for this song. So how to do easy strumming chords, how to do some easy bass walks. I'm going to keep the backup pretty beginner on this one, but just how I would do some basic strumming through the backup for this song. All right, here's Temperance Reel in the key of G. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, MikeHeadingMusic.com, and you can grab the full-length lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's Temperance Reel in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this beginner version of Temperance Reel in the key of G. Let me play the first 5 measures, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Let's do that a couple times. One more time, real slow. Okay, so we're going to start with measure 1, and measure 1 is just going to be the pickup to the basic A part. So we're going to hit the open 3rd string with a downstroke, and then do another down, up, down. So I'd really encourage you on this lesson and in general to follow the pick direction below the tab. So the staple looking symbols are downstrokes, the V looking symbols are upstrokes, okay? So that's really going to help you keep the timing with your right hand as if you follow that correct pick direction. So we're doing, it's basically like a fiddle shuffle rhythm. Sometimes they call it taters. It's basically the bluegrass equivalent of the drummer hitting their sticks to set the tempo. So basically what we're doing is just using that open 3rd string to set the tempo. And then we're going to hit the open 4th string and do an open 2 hammer-on with our first finger of our left hand. And then the open 3rd string is actually going to start measure 2, which is the basic A part. So we have, and remember the hammer-on takes the place of a picked note. So I'm only playing a single downstroke and then changing that note with my left hand. So I'm not going, so that a hammer-on, slides, or pull-offs take the place of a picked note. So that's really important as well. And that's where following the pick direction is super important. So let's do that again. And again, if I was playing in a real-life jam session and I wasn't starting the song, I probably wouldn't do that. I would just start with my pickup on the open 2 hammer-on because I'd be playing rhythm before. But if I was starting the song from square 1, then I would do that pickup. Okay, now let's move on to measure 2. We're going to hit the open 3rd string. Then do another open 2 hammer-on with our first finger on the 3rd string. And then picked notes, open 2nd string, 3rd fret. Now we're going to start using down ups as well. Open high E string, and then second fret, and then we're going to get up to the third fret for measure 3. And that's kind of the ending of the lick, so that's why I'm playing that note. So you have basically walking up kind of a pentatonic scale in G and then getting up to this high G. So we have a couple more times. Basically going to be doing that similar lick a bunch of times in this song with little variations, so that's a good one to practice. Your right hand's changing strings pretty quick there. So a couple of things you could do is, one, you could take out that open 2 hammer-on if you didn't like it and play with all picked notes. So that's one way you could do it. The other way is you could move the hammer-on to somewhere else. So you could do the hammer-on on the second string right there, or you could do it on the high string as well. So again, hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides are kind of like extra credit. You can add them or take them out wherever you want. You know, I probably wouldn't do all hammer-ons, you know, but you could if you wanted to. But again, it's really important to know where you can add those hammer-ons and where you can take them out. All you're doing is replacing a picked note with a hammer-on. So anywhere I'm doing those picked notes, I could theoretically hammer on. So that's really important. Okay, let's do it one more time. And then for measure 3, we're going to land our second finger on the 3rd fret, play that note twice with 2 downstrokes, and then 3 open on the high string with down, up, and then down to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So that's not too hard. You have... That's where playing the correct pick direction really helps. It'll help you not rush through that. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 is how you'd count that. Okay, let's put those together. So we have... One more time with the pickup. And then right here we're going to go to an E minor, so the relative minor of G. We're going to do a little lick, open 2nd string, and then a backward slide with your 2nd finger 3 to 2, and we're going to have to use an upstroke with our right hand, and then another open 3rd string, down to the 2nd fret with your 1st finger on the 4th string. So you have... Let's practice that a few times. Really important that you do a down, up, and then another up. So it's 1 and 3. And I'm landing there with my 1st finger. You could use your 2nd finger for those hammer-ons, but I'm going to use my 1st finger, and I'll show you why in a second. So we have... And then right there, for 4 and, do another open 2. And then this is measure 5, open 3rd string, open 2nd string with quarter notes, and then 2 open on the 3rd string, and then we're back to our opening pickup again. And that's why I'm using my 1st finger there, because it sets you up to play the next part how you've already played it. So you have... Let's do that a few times. This fiddle tune has kind of that call and response format. So again, our initial call is... Then you have phrase 2, which is the response. And then you're back to your opening phrase 1 again, which is measure 6 and 7. And then you have phrase 3, which is the final response that I'll break down in just a sec, but it's... So again, if you can remember that 1, 2, 1, 3 format, there's a bunch of reasons why that's helpful. One is it's less to remember. If you can memorize phrase 1, you have 50% of the A part already down, which is helpful. The other way it's helpful is if you start creating variations. Maybe you play phrase 1, now we're back to phrase 1 again. Maybe now I create a variation. You know, so again, once you recognize the pattern of the melody and the fiddle tune, it makes it easier to create variations that kind of, you still have fragments of the melody that you can go back to, and then you know where those spots to create the variation. So you can create a variation on phrase 1 or phrase 2 or phrase 3. It really helps you keep your place in the song, okay? So again, measure 6 and 7 are exactly the same as 2 and 3. It's our opening melody line again. And then measure 8 starts the same. And then we're going to do an open 2 hammer on the 3rd string. And then a little ending lick. 2nd string open with a down. Open 3rd string with an up. 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And then 4th fret. I use my 3rd finger, or you could use your pinky, but I recommend your 3rd finger on the 4th string. And then open 3rd string. Let's just play those 4 notes. You have... So you get into that with that little hammer on. That's the other reason why I like using my 1st finger there when I do that slide. Because now I'm in position for, I'm really thinking about this note. If I do it this way, now I'm out of position, whereas if I do it this way, now I'm in position to play that ending lick. So I'm always thinking about where am I going next, because that's really going to help you figure out what fingers make sense. What feels easiest at first might not always be the best path. You got to always think of where you're going next. So I'm setting up that ending lick. So that's why I'm getting ready with that early, okay? And then we would do that open 2 hammer on again at the end of measure 9. So you have 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. And right here you could play the whole basic A part again. Could do this variation that we'll do, and let me play it. It's measures 10 and 11 through 13. So here we go.